Okay. Hi, fourth graders. Today it's lesson 79 for you. It's about symmetry, and I've already found a PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint, but a YouTube video on symmetry. So if you go to my Weebly site, you'll see under the thing that normally says Mrs. Brand's YouTube, you'll see a thing that says lesson 79, grade 4, lines of symmetry. And I want you to watch that to get all the ideas of symmetry, since it's easier to see it already on a computer than it is to try and draw one on the board. But just to give you a review of what symmetry is, if I had a triangle like this and I was looking for a line of symmetry, it would be the same on both sides. It's like that mirror image. So if we were to cut that like that and fold it over, it would match up. So that's that idea of symmetry. And if it's an equilateral triangle like this one, where all angles are equal, you could have 3 lines of symmetry, because you could fold it here, or you could fold it this way or that way. But I think the YouTube video that's already put together will make a lot of sense for you. Just a couple things to review for your homework for today, because you have your paper. And if we look at some of the things that you have going here, just remember your dollar sign and decimal point when it comes to things like this one. All right. Number 2, it wants to know how many eggs, so make sure you're putting how many eggs are listed there. Number 5, this should have an A and a B, because it wants to know what fraction is not shaded, and then what decimal is shaded. So is shaded in decimal, not shaded in fraction. So make sure that you have that up there for that. On number 8, that also is an A-B situation. A is the perimeter, and then B basically is talking about the area. So perimeter area for 8. Let's see, what else do we have here? We've got a division problem down towards the bottom here. So on division, make sure you do the process: dad, mom, sister, brother, Rover. Taking first, how many 5s can you get into 38? And then doing the multiplication, subtraction, bringing down your 4. And then doing that same thing, then bring down your 0. Okay, review that process if you need to in order to make sure that you get that right. On the back side, you have another division problem right there. With this one, just make sure you put your decimal point there, your dollar sign there. And then when you do how many 8s can you get out of 70, that number is going to go right before the decimal point. And then as you go, the rest will be putting, just like you do your regular division problems. Don't worry about the decimal point, just put it up here. First number goes before that decimal point. A couple more division problems. Obviously, division is our focus as we go here. 19 says 4p equals 160. So remember with that, as you're doing that one, 4p equals 160, that you have that since there's no space between the two, 4p equals 160, that means that it's 4 times p equals 160, or 160 divided by 4 equals p. Okay. Just a few review things as we're going forward here. 22. Okay, so remember in 22 where it says 10 times 6 to the 2nd power plus 2 to the 3rd power. When you have that, remember the little number, that 2, tells me how many times I need to multiply that 6. This 3 tells me how many times I need to have that 2 there. So it's 2 times 2 times 2. Okay? Just a review of that. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's a pink pen, so it's kind of hard to see. Temperature for that one, 25, spun completely around twice. So how many degrees is that if they spun completely around twice? Which one does not have a line of symmetry? 3 of them do, 1 of them does not. Which letter is that? And then which of these letters has rotational symmetry? So there's 2 answers here, an A and a B. So make sure you do A and B for 26. 27, you need to draw each type of those triangles. Go back to lesson 78 and take a look at the different types of triangles for number 27. So you'll have A, B, C, and D, which will tell, and then you draw the type of triangle right next to them. Okay? You don't need to do B on 27 as far as type, where it says explain why the triangles you chose does not exist. Okay, you just need to tell me which one can't you draw. Okay, as a triangle. One of those cannot be drawn as a triangle, A, B, C, or D. And you just circle the one that can't be drawn as a triangle, and the other ones you're going to draw in. Okay? 28 has to do with coins, how many different amounts, and then how much does each of those equal. So make sure you put the number of how many choices you have, and then tell me the total of each of those choices. Okay? And then number 29, Cora estimated the quotient of 261 divided by 5 to be 50. Explain how she used compatible numbers to make her estimate. Well, why don't we just do that one together on the board here, okay? Because, and then you can write it into your paper. So if we look at compatible numbers, I'll just take this off here because, like I said, you can write it into your paper. We have the numbers 261 divided by 5, and they said that she came out for that to be about 50. Well, in compatible numbers, what she did was she took that 261 divided by 5, and she looked at her 5 factors, and she said, okay, what is closest to 200 or to 26 here? Just forget about that 1 right there. We're just going to make that a 0 to begin with, because we have something times 5 is close to 26. So something times 5 is close to 26. Well, I know that if I wanted that, it would have to end in a 5 or a 0. So instead of 26, we're going to drop 1 and change to 25, because I know something times 5 is 25. And so what she did then is she changed that to 250. And she said, okay, how many 5s can I get out of 25? 5. 5 times 5 is 25. She subtracted, oops, move that a little bit more so you can see it. There we go. 25 minus 25 is 0. Bring down your 0. How many 5s can you get out of 0? 0. So she has 0 times 5 is still 0. Nothing remaining. And that's what we want when we do compatible numbers, is to have nothing remaining at all. So her compatible number then got to be 50. So this is how you can put that on number 29. You change the 261 to 250 because that's the closest number that would not have any remainders, and then we would do the math and get the 50. Okay, so you can use that for number 29. All right, because I know sometimes compatible numbers can be a little bit hard to understand, so I thought I'd do that one with you today. Okay, so that's your assignment for today, is lesson 79, the ones that are not crossed out, and to watch that symmetry video so that you understand what to do for that. Hope you're having a good day.